There's a kind of silence in the mountains that seeps into your bones, a hush so deep it makes the rest of the world feel like static. My cabin sat right in the heart of that silence, tucked between pine trees, older than most cities with a porch facing west, and just enough creak in the boards to remind me of my grandfather's laughter. That place, it wasn't just a house, it was a legacy, something built and protected by stubborn hands passed down like an heirloom you'd fight tooth and nail to keep. I never wanted much, just my peace of quiet. I was a landscape photographer, mostly gone half the year, bouncing from national parks to wherever light decided to perform. Whenever I came back, I slipped into that cabin like a favorite jacket beat up, but mine. There was a kind of peace there. No cell towers, no early morning lawn mowers, only the wind and the occasional deer nose pressed against the glass. Thing is, the only road to my cabin cuts through Silver Pines, this HOA-run labyrinth of identical homes, manicured lawns and rules written by people with nothing better to do. Granddad knew what was coming. Back in the 90s, he secured an ironclad easement for our road legal official signed by the county. Nobody cared for decades. Folks figured the trail to my place was part of the park. Then along came Karen Wells. 55 and twice as fierce, Karen wore her authority like body armor. She flagged me down my first week back, blocking the road in her spotless SUV. "You a resident?" she demanded, arms folded, eyes locked. "Just passing through to my property." "I have an easement," I said, holding up the paperwork. She studied it like I'd handed her a riddle. Didn't matter. From that moment, I was on her radar. Weeks passed, and on a day meant for bird photography, I found a heavy chain slung across the access road. "No entry. HOA property." Fake cameras on the trees sign straight out of a bad movie. I hiked the rest of the way, fury simmering, heart pounding out of sync with the quiet woods. Next morning, I called the sheriff. Lieutenant Morales came out, a man who looked like he'd seen every kind of trouble and was allergic to all of it. He documented the obstruction, called Karen, and after a tense exchange, made her remove the chain. Her smile as she left promised this wasn't over. Peace didn't last long. Karen doubled down where others retreat. She recalibrated. I returned to the cabin one day and found the front door open, the air inside sliced with the chill of trespass. There she was, clipboard camera, sifting through my mail, photographing my notebooks, even rummaging my kitchen drawers. When I confronted her, she didn't blink. "I'm documenting violations. Unauthorized structures, illegal occupancy. That was my home, my name on the deed." She wanted me gone, convinced herself the mountain was hers to rule. I threw her out, called Morales again, but even with the law on my side, the sense of violation lingered. Karen ramped up surveillance, sent her private security to circle the property, flew drones overhead, snapped photos through my windows. The mountain's silence started to feel menacing, less like peace, more like being watched. It all came to a head one gray afternoon. The knock on my door was sharp, impatient. I peered through the peephole, Karen again, eyes, wild voice rising the moment the door cracked. "You can't ignore me." She shoved the door, snapped the chain, and barged inside, ranting about her road, her rules. She lunged, grabbed my shirt buttons, flying her pride wounded beyond repair. I twisted free, called Morales, who arrived to find Karen pacing my living room, still shouting. The evidence was all there, security cameras, his body cam, my word against her chaos. That should have been the end. But with people like her, defeat just makes them more dangerous. Morales found a folder, surveillance shots, forged HOA documents, emails to the board claiming I was a squatter. She'd siphoned HOA funds to hire a private eye, staged a campaign to annex my land, even tried to list it for a fake HOA retreat. Cynthia Glass, a board member, finally came forward admitting Karen faked meeting minutes, bullied the board into silence, and weaponized every rule in the book. The scandal broke open. Karen was arrested on a stack of charges: trespass, assault, fraud, embezzlement. The HOA board was suspended, the county took over, and a new administrator, Samuel Ortega, took the reins. He invited me to a community meeting, 50 faces, most of whom had only known my name from Karen's stories. I showed them the map my grandfather had drawn, shared how much this cabin meant to my family. One old Marine stood up and laughed. She fined me for flying an American flag. Others joined in stories, spilling out the fog of fear finally lifting. Karen tried to counterattack, sued me for emotional distress. The judge dismissed it on sight. She was convicted, banned for life from anything with the word board in it. The HOA paid me damages, then turned around and sued her to recoup the money. Her real estate license gone. Last I heard, she was running empowerment seminars for other inmates. Funny how a war over a dirt road can become something bigger. After the trial, conservation groups reached out, and now every year I host a handful of young photographers at the cabin. We hike, we shoot, we listen. Just listen to what the mountains have to say. The place is protected for good. The air finally is mine again. Cleaning out my grandfather's old cabinet one evening, I found a faded envelope labeled in his handwriting. Don't trust anyone who wants to control the road to your home. Inside was a map, an alternate route hidden legal just in case. Proof he knew before I did that sometimes you fight for peace with more than hope. You fight with grit and a plan B. There's a lesson in all of it somewhere between the noise and the quiet. It's not about winning a legal fight or getting the biggest payout or shaming the villain on the local news. It's about standing your ground, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, because the things worth keeping, peace, legacy, the silence, only you understand, are the easiest to lose when you let someone else write the rules. Now here's where I leave you. Where's the line between protecting a community and becoming its tyrant? When do good intentions turn into control? And who gets to decide what peace means? Have you ever stood your ground or let it slip away just to keep the peace? Share your stories below about justice, about HOA, nightmares about the lines you had to draw. Me, I'll be on the porch, finally breathing easy, hoping the next chapter is quieter, but ready if it isn't.